Hey, welcome back to Undefined Therapy, and I'm so excited for this video. It's been a year in the making, like literally a year. I didn't want to just keep it very small. I wanted to get a good sample of people to just hear what their thoughts are on counseling. For this video, I asked people, what are your thoughts on counseling? What has been your experience with counseling? And I just let them go. I let them go. Some people I had to cut them a little bit because they had a lot of thoughts. So I'm going to be breaking this up into a 2 or 3 part series for you just to see what the Black community says about counseling. I will go into other communities, but I'm starting with my own right now. It ain't no judgment. I'm just starting with my own right now, and I hope to go into other communities, but this is real life people on the streets. I literally just walked up to them and was like, hey, can I ask you a question about mental health? I got a lot of rejections. That's why it took a year. But for the people that made it onto this video, I really just am thankful for it. If you're already not subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe down below. If you're already a subscriber, then I want to say thank you so much here on Undefined Therapy. Now let's jump on into these interviews in 3, 2, 1, go. What are your thoughts on counseling?
Oh, all right. My thoughts on counseling, this thing about this, I think every individual, especially this younger generation, kids need someone to counsel them because there's so many things going on in this world today for us, not just violence, but for us just chastising. You know, you got a lot of young ladies getting raped by their mom or boyfriend, you know, and there's certain things they need someone to talk to that they don't feel comfortable talking to their parents at home about the situation because mama go get mad, go off on her, then the boyfriend go switch the script. But I ain't just saying that situation, different situations for it's like a father figure. You know what I'm saying? A lot of young dudes out here don't have that father figure, and that's why sometimes they do the things they do. They don't have nobody to counsel them and tell them what's right and what's wrong. So I think counseling play 100%, not just in the United States, just in society, period.
A small room with one person complaining with someone saying that it's okay to complain.
I mean, I've never done counseling, but I know my mother has. And I do feel like it does somewhat help to be able to talk with somebody and let it out. Yeah, I just feel like me personally, I'm not a person to seek out counseling. Like, if I have a problem, I usually fall back on my friends or my homies to be like, oh, this is the problem I'm going through. I don't think I'm that comfortable with a stranger to go in and talk to a stranger and tell them about my problem per se. But I have seen it help people like my mother who was struggling through some stuff at one time. So when you say counselor, I do kind of think of the stereotypical like, hello neighbor with the sweater and you're sitting in the chair. But I don't know. I just feel like I really wouldn't be that comfortable just talking to this random stranger. They're writing down stuff. That's interesting. Tell me more. Like, I don't think that's just not something I would be all that interested in.
I think counseling is for people who are going through something. They don't have friends or family that they can talk to. I don't think necessarily that counseling is for crazy people or people that's delusional, because you never know what someone is going through to what's causing them. And suicide is real. Suicide is very real, and depression is real too. And some people don't have those people that they can talk to. So what comes to mind is a friendly person who would keep things confidential in between us, that I can talk to about anything or what's going on in my life or how I'm feeling, and without them judging me, because that's the number one thing that you want to get when you're talking to someone. You want to make sure they're not judging you on any situation. So that's my thing.
Counseling to me is somebody who needs counseling, somebody who needs somebody they can talk to, somebody who they know can take advice from, somebody who they can tell their problems to the counselor, who they don't have to worry about is coming back out again to harm them. If I drink, if I smoke, whatever I do, I don't have to go to counseling now to get help. Why? Because counseling didn't give me the problem.
As a person that goes to therapy myself, it definitely works. You know, I've been through domestic violence, abuse within family. I've been through my loss of my mother 2 years ago, and therapy definitely helps you have a voice to talk to someone that has no connection to you, that's not judging you, that you can just help learn how to deal with everything that changed in your life. not by yourself or with somebody else that, you know, that's not really taught as good as, you know, to train you to learn how to deal with all of these different things in life and cope with them.
My experience with counseling has been a horrible one, honestly. When I came home from overseas, I had a hard time adapting back to civilian life, adapting with people or other Americans, you know, who, you know, civilianized after being over there for so long. Coming back, I just had like issues. And I just knew I was going through something. I didn't know what it was. I just knew it was something. I just knew I wasn't myself. Knowing myself, I knew I wasn't me. I wasn't the person that left. So just coming back, I decided to go try to talk to somebody by, you know, through recommendation from other troops and things like that. Went to them and I found it to be a bad idea. Reason why I found it to be a bad idea was because my counselor was kind of like telling me I'm like too successful to have issues. And it kind of deterred me to not want to go back.
Therapy, I would think of responding to the needs of someone that's in need of some type of mental direction, mental health care. And I would think of someone that's caring enough to listen and help guide them. That's what I would think of when I think of counseling.
Over the 20 years that I received counseling, there's good and bad counselors, but you have to relate to your counselor and you have to find attributes in your counselor that you admire. And that connection will build you to be able to trust them to talk about the things that you don't want to talk about.
When I think about counseling, I think of a lot of anger, a lot of depression, long hours of sessions, and help. I think that's what I think about. I think about counseling, help. Counseling helped me, so I know in my mind that it's a positive thing, especially for black people in the community and the world we live in today, because we have so many problems. I've been traumatized a lot, from prison to danger to child. I was set on fire. I had a lot of injuries, but yeah, mainly me. A person like me that's been through stuff like I've been through and traumatized in the prison system, and I need a counselor. If I had a counselor back then, it probably would have helped me from going to prison, but because I didn't have anybody to talk to, so counselor would have helped me a lot.
I like imagine me laying in a chair, like laying back, relaxed, talking to people about my deepest, darkest secret type of thing, I think.
First thing that comes to mind concerning counseling is the necessity for particularly us as African Americans who have had many of struggles, from absentee fathers, struggling mothers, you know, and just dealing with the just being an African American period, you know, growing up in the South, spending a little time in the North, you know, we've had different struggles. And so I think that it's necessary for us to talk about these struggles, to be real about the struggles. You know, I operate in corporate America, so when I engage in corporate America, how do I engage my Caucasian brethren, you know, in corporate America, and not feel intimidated in a boardroom? Walk in with, you know, feeling as though I belong, even though there may be none that look like me. So it is necessary for us to have some place that we can go and have some open discourse, you know, and dialogue about, you know, those circumstances and situations. So I think counseling is very important, and we should, you know, look for venues that we can have that kind of conversation.
The experience I had with counseling, I decided to bring my daughter. She was a teenager at the time. I just wanted to get help for her, you know. So when I did go, we had the counselor for her and one for myself. And then when we were done counseling for that week, it was time for us to come together as a group. Well, just so happened, the counselor that counseled my daughter, she had told me that she had seen where I had whipped my child with a belt. And she said, don't let it happen again or I'll call child protection. And I stood up for my daughter to let her see. Because this is how they characterize us and statisticize us, if that's a word. She said she would call child protection. And I stood up and I said, you would do what? I said, you're not scaring me. I'm not afraid, because I come here to get help, not to hurt my child.
Yes, I have actually been to counseling. It was through the military, and a lot of people there kind of commit suicide, get depressed, you know, those type of things. So I feel like it does help, and I would do it again.
When I think about it, I think it's more, I think about divorce, but really, a lot of people, you know, the judge makes you have to do counseling once you feel like you're actually about to go through the divorce, to make sure to see where you're at, see if you really want it. I say insecure people. You guys know why?
Well, for me, I feel like counseling is going to be a problem solver for couples. It could be a problem solver for friendship, a problem solver for just a person in general when they want to get counseled. I don't think it is a bad thing. I just think it is a risk thing that somebody may go out there and learn something about themselves that they didn't want to learn.
I have a little bit. My parents divorced when I was 6, and my mom thought it was a good idea to get us in some family counseling. I don't remember a whole lot, but I do remember playing Uno, and I guess that was kind of the way the counselor would get us comfortable since we were children. And then she would just kind of ask a few questions, but we only did maybe 4 or 5 sessions, and then that was it.
I always want to hesitate when thinking about counseling, especially for myself, because you're always like, okay, what can this person really tell me about my life? Because they don't really know me. And then I just wasn't raised to do counseling. I don't know anyone in my family who's had any type of counseling whatsoever.
Counseling, basically, how I feel about it going through counseling, I feel like it's just a way of an outlet of emotion that you don't really want to share with another individual. So you have, or a paid person you go and visit to basically consult with, but it depends on what you're being counseled for. I once tried to commit suicide, and people found out about it, therefore I had to go to counseling. So after going through the processes, it was just sort of like, it was acceptable. I mean, I'm in a clearer space now. You know, I can't say that it's a bad momentum change in my life.
I don't personally I don't see anything wrong with it. If you would have asked me this 5 years ago, I would have been like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to therapy. But the older I have gotten, you know, you need that outlet. You seriously need that outlet. You just need that person, that outside person, to not judge you. Not saying your friends judge you, not saying your parents judge you, but you need that person who does not know you, does not know your thoughts, they don't know your upbringing. They just know you from sitting on that couch and telling them exactly what you're telling them right then and there. And it's their professional ability, based on their education or whatever their job is to tell you what you need to hear at that time with no judgment at all.
Yeah, they need help. You know, it's their choice. They want to, you know, go through counselors, therapists. It's their choice. You can't make anybody do anything. But they want to go through counselors, you know, it's on them, you know. But if they need it as soon as possible, they need counseling stuff. Other than that, everything should be good. But it's on them. You can't make somebody do something. I'm making the right choice. I'm going through therapists and counseling. I'm not ashamed, you know, because I'm a black woman trying to make it in life like everybody else, you know. But like I say, mental health should be treated with respect, not any kind of way. So I don't care about no counseling and all that, but I still go through it.
So I hope you found those interviews helpful. Those are people who are not therapists. They were raw, uncut. I literally just walked up to them and asked them that question. So if you found this video helpful and you like this series, definitely give me the thumbs up so that I know. If you have thoughts on counseling or any experiences, whether positive or good, leave them down in the comments below. You never know who might be reading it. I love to get a discussion started. And as always, please subscribe if you are not already subscribed. Here, I like to help you create your own healthiness here on Undefined Therapy. And as always, I look forward to seeing you soon.